Breaking news! There's something brewing behind the scenes in Denver that could shake up the entire trajectory of the Broncos' 2025 season. I've come across some inside information about potential moves that could completely redefine our offense, and I'm not just talking about depth pieces here. I'm talking about game changers, players who, if brought in before the trade deadline, could instantly flip the switch from a struggling unit to one of the most dangerous attacks in the NFL. But before I spill the details, do me a quick favor, hit that like button only if you're the kind of Broncos fan who still believes this team is what it takes to go all the way. And if you're feeling bold, comment down below, go Broncos! We're not done yet. Alright, let's dive in, because what I've got for you today could turn this whole season around. The Broncos offense, while stacked with talent, is showing some cracks. We've got a pressing issue at tight end. Yes, we brought in Evan Engram this offseason, a dynamic addition. But here's the reality, Ingram's been struggling with a nagging calf injury and missed last week due to back issues. That puts the Broncos in a precarious position, especially when you look at the rest of the tight end room. Lucas Kroll shows flashes, and Adam Troutman is a solid blocker, but neither is stepping up as a vertical threat or a safety blanket over the middle, the kind of role a tight end must fill, especially with a young quarterback like Bo Nix under center. Let's not sugarcoat it, the Broncos need reinforcements. And the trade deadline? It's closer than you think. November 5th, Week 9. Just 6 weeks away. The good teams make moves. The bad ones sell. And despite the bumpy start, Denver is still loaded with too much talent to be anything but a contender. They've shot themselves in the foot a few times, yes, but when you look at both sides of the ball, there's simply no excuse for this team not to be playoff bound. Enter David Njoku. Yes, that David Njoku, the Cleveland Browns' former first-round pick and one of the most underrated tight ends in the league. His numbers speak volumes, 363 career receptions and a career-best 882 receiving yards in 2023. He's got hands, size, physicality, and he thrives in the red zone, everything the Broncos are lacking right now at tight end. But with the Browns drafting Harold Fannin Jr. out of Bowling Green this year, Njoku's role has been rapidly diminishing. Fannin drew 9 targets in Week 1 alone, converting them into 7 catches for 63 yards. The writing's on the wall in Cleveland. And here's where things get interesting for Denver. The Browns know Njoku is entering the final year of his contract. They know Fannin is their future. So why not move Njoku now while they can still get value for him? That's exactly the opportunity the Broncos should be jumping on. The proposed trade? Simple. Denver sends the 4th-round pick they acquired in the Devin Vele deal to Cleveland. And just like that, the Broncos lock in a legitimate threat at tight end who complements Evan Engram rather than replaces him. Njoku offers that yin to the yang with Engram. While Engram operates more from the slot and has a silky, finesse-based game, Njoku brings brute strength and red zone prowess, especially effective in play action. Some fans might say, we don't need Njoku, we don't want to pay for him. But this move isn't just about adding a player. It's about completing the puzzle. This team has been missing that reliable, over-the-middle presence for years. And if Evan Engram remains limited by injuries, the drop-off behind him is too steep. This is a proactive move to ensure Bo Nix has every weapon possible at his disposal. Now, you may be thinking, that's a solid move, but what about the wide receiver room? Sure, it's not riddled with injuries, but it's not delivering either. The separation just isn't there. The young guys are still developing. Courtland Sutton is locked in as WR1, but we need more juice. So how about a bombshell? How about Tyreek Hill? Yes, Tyreek Hill. I know. Just hearing his name in trade rumors can sound like clickbait, but this one has legs. ESPN and CBS Sports have both connected the dots, and sources say Hill's relationship with the Dolphins is fractured beyond repair. He was vocal about his dissatisfaction at the end of 2024, and while Miami didn't move him then, the tension carried into training camp. His deal has no guaranteed money beyond 2026, and his base salary for next year? Just $10 million. For a player of his caliber, that's a steal, especially for a team with cap room like Denver. Stylistically, Tyreek is a perfect fit, not just as a deep threat, but as a YAC monster who can eat up short routes and dominate in open space. With Mims struggling and Troy Franklin still learning the ropes, Hill brings immediate production. Add him into a rotation with Sutton, Mims stretching the field, Franklin developing into a WR4, and you've suddenly got one of the most complete WR rooms in the league. The proposed cost? A 4th and 5th round pick, both day 3 selections, plus some cash to ease Miami's dead cap burden. It's a manageable deal, one that could turn the Broncos offense into a legitimate threat on every down. And you can't ignore the poetic justice here. Tyreek back in the AFC West, taking swings at the Chiefs twice a year? That's a storyline you can't write better. Because here's the deal, playing it safe hasn't worked. Not in recent years. The Broncos have been stuck in that middle ground for too long, hanging between a rebuild and a playoff push. But now, with a head coach like Sean Payton and a talented, young quarterback like Bo Nix under center, the time to swing big is now. And yes, adding David Njoku and Tyreek Hill will be swinging big, but they're also calculated swings. Let's break it down even further. First, the Njoku trade. Giving up a fourth rounder that you picked up in the Devin Vele deal isn't exactly mortgaging the future. It's using a surplus asset to plug a glaring hole in your offense. Njoku brings more than just receiving ability. He brings leadership, veteran savvy, and physical toughness that this offense needs in the middle of the field. Imagine lining him up opposite Evan Ingram in two tight end sets. You could attack from multiple formations, confuse defenses with motion, and most importantly, give Bo Nix more clean reads. Njoku flourishes in the play-action game, something Payton already uses heavily. Pairing him with a young, mobile QB and a creative play caller? That's not just a fit, that's a weapon. And what about the money? Njoku is in the final year of his deal, yes, but that's leverage. If he performs, you extend him on your terms. If he doesn't, it's a one-year rental with upside. Low risk, high reward. That's smart roster building. Now, let's zoom in on Tyreek Hill, because this one is even spicier. Hill is still producing, despite the Miami drama. The Dolphins have been forced to use him in ways that don't maximize his speed, and that frustration is bleeding onto the field. You can see it in the body language. You can hear it in the post-game comments. Hill wants out. He wants a fresh start. And the Broncos offer a situation where he can thrive. Not just on the field, but off it too. The AFC West familiarity? That matters. Hill knows the Chiefs inside and out. The Chargers and Raiders? He's torched them before. Putting him back into this division gives the Broncos an edge no one's talking about. And from a locker room standpoint, yeah, Tyreek Hill isn't always the quietest guy, but neither was Aqib Talib. Sometimes, that edge is exactly what a team needs. Sometimes, a guy who plays angry brings the energy that lifts the whole roster. And if there's one thing the Broncos have lacked in recent years, it's swagger. Hill brings that in waves. Now picture this, Broncos offense, 3rd and 6, ball at midfield. You've got Cortland Sutton wide right, Tyreek Hill wide left, Marvin Mims in motion, Evan Ingram and David Njoku in tight. Bo Nix under center. What defense in the NFL isn't sweating that formation? The flexibility, the speed, the mismatches. You could run it, screen it, go deep, hit a slant, roll out, everything's on the table. And that's what these moves are about. Giving Sean Payton options, giving Bo Nix security, and giving Broncos country hope. What about the cost? 2-day 3 picks and some money for Tyreek Hill. That's nothing compared to the original trade package the Dolphins gave up to get him. And again, no guaranteed money after 2026. That's a controllable contract. If he fits, you extend. If not, you let him walk. The cap hit is manageable, and remember, with the new media deals and revenue jumps coming, the salary cap is about to balloon again. The money will be there. Here's another angle. These moves aren't just about this season. They send a message to the locker room, to the league, to the fan base, that the Broncos are done being mediocre, done waiting for players to develop who might never get there, done wasting years of talent on both sides of the ball. This is the kind of aggressive, all-in approach we've been begging for. And let's be real, the AFC is stacked. The Chiefs, Ravens,